Hi guys. Hope you all are having a good day today. I got things a little bit set up a little bit different today. I know nobody's in here yet, but for those of you that come in and watch or watch my stream later on, Andrew. Yeah, never mind. He sorry, he took out the trash and he put a new bag in it, so. Hey Mom. Thanks for joining my live stream. Sorry, I'm just putting a new trash bag in the trash here. There it is. I do too. This is going to be my first time doing this. I don't know if you understood what I was saying or not, but we were watching this infomercial on TV earlier. I don't know why we were watching it, but it had on there, it was some kind of air fryer from New Wave or something like that. And it's like the New Wave 3 or I don't know, some big ugly looking air fryer that wouldn't match anything in the house. I'll say that. And they did barbecue ribs. Well, we're going to test that theory. This isn't the same, we don't have the same air fryer that was in the commercial, but we do have a nice big air fryer. You can see that's rather large. So we're going to give it a try to see how it works. I have got a nice big slab of spare ribs. And I want to try it out. I mean, there is a I don't quite see a they have presets on here, and I don't quite see a preset for ribs, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. As long as I can fit it in the thing, I won't have to cut them down and everything, but as long as I can fit them in there, it should work. I don't see a problem with it. So it sounds like you guys had a pretty interesting day today. You said it didn't end up working, going off and trying to scare them. No, I don't have liquid smoke, but hold on a second. So I want to do how I normally do, and I'm going to have a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, and wait for people to come in. I need these ribs to warm up a little bit anyway, to more room temperature than they are. And then I'm going to pull off the membrane. I'm going to cut them down. But anyway, like I was saying, I picked up this this dry rub for smoking and barbecuing. It's supposed to already have like smoked paprika. I can't talk for some reason, and stuff in it. So it'll be good for something like this. And yeah, we do like the smoke kind of flavor on ribs, but I don't really ever smoke them anyway. I more just cook them than anything. So it doesn't really get that smoky of a flavor, and the flavors we have anyway are going to outdo any smoke type flavor as it is. So I may have to do this rack of ribs in sections. I don't know if all of it is going to fit in my fryer basket, but I'm sure going to try. Oh, hey, fancy seeing you in here, Amanda. But yeah, this was pretty cheap. I'm not endorsing or anything, but I'm going to try this out. It's Weber brand dry rub. So we'll see how that works. Oh, the other one? No. This is an air fryer that we've had for a couple weeks now. And we were watching an infomercial this morning, and they had done, in this infomercial, in this air fryer, they had done ribs. And Andrew doubted that it could be done. So I said, we'll try it out, see how it works. The bigger oil fryer, I don't know. I mean, that's something we can hold off on. It doesn't have to be done right now. We have a decent fryer. It works really good still. All it is just something bigger. But this is going to be in, this is a, and I'm not being paid to endorse anything. I have to say that kind of thing on my streams because there's an endorsement clause and blah, 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 blah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Over the next day, we're due for like intermittent storms here and there. But anyway, what I was saying is I don't endorse anything, but I do have to say that the brand that we have for air fryer is what's called Power XL, and it is a really decent air fryer. The last air fryer we had was a decent air fryer until it got melted, but this air fryer seems to be a pretty good air fryer. It works really, really well. So I'm hoping with these ribs it's going to do the same. But yeah, this rack of ribs was about $15. It is almost 6 pounds of spare ribs. So we're going to see how it goes. Well, we're barbecuing, but in a different way. It's indoor fry barbecue. I don't know what you want to call it. So I'm basically, all I'm going to do is kind of preheat things. This is really good. Aww.
Get out of the washer.
Um, so basically, all I want to do is hit the button right here. It's, a couple times. It's going to preheat. It's really good to have things preheated when you do something like this. And it's going to take a few minutes to preheat. So, but yes, we did get a new. Well, I've set up the dining room. I will show you a brief little clip, glimpse of it. That is our new dining room setup. I still kind of have paint and stuff over on, but we're going to turn into a buffet over there. But that's our little dining room area now. Nice little table, some nice placemats and set up on it. So please don't mind the mess in the other spots. Well, I've seen different recipes, and basically, you can have it anywhere between 350 and 400. I do like mine um, a little bit lower, so I'm going to do them at 350. It's going to probably take about 45 minutes to do, but that's way quicker than um, any grilling, any smoking will do. You know, and if you sit and if you boil them and then you put them in the oven and do this and that, it takes a long time. An air fryer is basically just a really small convection oven, and it really circulates the air around so that every little nook and cranny of the food can get that heat. So we're going to have a nice, almost crispy outside to the ribs. Um, but the barbecue sauce that I add at the end will help to soften that. And then we're going to, like I said, I'm going to add the barbecue sauce and everything. So it should be really good. But yeah, boiling and then grilling or baking, you end up taking an hour and a half doing that kind of stuff. So, well less than an hour in this air fryer. So we're going to see how it goes. I'm just kind of. I always at the beginning of my live streams, I wait a little bit to see who might come in, uh, see if I get more people before I really start anything. It gives people the opportunity to really watch and see everything. It's been very humid out here, very, very, very humid, very muggy, and it's been in the 80s today. So it's been a kind of a really warm, hot, ucky day. Not really any rain. We had a few. We had to go about, what was it, a 40-minute drive to pick up the table. It was a nice. It was a really cheap table. It's a really nice table. We got to do some. I got to do some touching up on the paint, but it's a very um, nice color. It's like a dark mocha, and it's got some like specks of gold, and it's almost like a really, really dark oil rub bronze. And it really matches well with everything. And we got this really cool. Ashley was at Walmart yesterday and picked up this really cool looking wax burner that is glass on the outside, and it's like a marbleized texture. It's really, really cool. I don't know if you saw that in the picture that I sent you, Mom. always with when I work with meat like this, I always wear gloves. I'm going to try to drink a little bit more of my coffee before I start. I've been on for about 15, 16 and a half minutes. It's not really center, it's off to the side. The table that we got, it was, you know, like I said, it was used table. It was only 50 bucks, and it only had 3 chairs. So we have one side of the table against the wall, and the 3 place settings. The wax burner is more along the empty spot against the wall. So okay. So like I said, with working with this kind of meat, I always wear gloves. Makes cleanup a lot easier. I like the latex gloves better. These are like rubber, almost like trying to get a balloon over your hand. But we need to go to the doctor in order to get more of those. So again, this is a 5 3/4 pound spare ribs. A lot of people don't understand what like the difference is in with the different styles of ribs. It all depends on the amount of meat, the different part of the cut that's still in with the rib. Some ribs, when you buy them, they don't have the short ribs on them still. Spare ribs still do. Short ribs are, I'll show you guys here in a minute. Not a lot of people understand, and I know that you do, Mom. I don't know if Amanda understands like what the long and short ribs are, and so, and other people who watch this stream later on. Okay, so with ribs, when you go and you get like country style like baby back ribs or anything like that, okay, you see how this has the sections, okay, the actual rib portions. Well, these rib portions are what's called the long rib, and it goes from side to side, and you know, these are the actual rib bones, okay. Well, the short rib, you can see this, you can see how it has this fat right here, and that's where the long rib stops and the short ribs begin. The short ribs, rather than going this way, they go lengthwise. So in this situation, I'm going to cut off the short ribs. I'm going to cook those separate from the long ribs or the baby back ribs, or whatever, however you want to consider it. Now, before I do that though, I'm going to take off this membrane. And it's really easy to do if you get your finger in there under the rib the right way, or under the membrane the right way. You can kind of start, you know, get your knife underneath the membrane a little bit. Everybody does a little bit different. A lot of people like to use a piece of paper towel, but I think that just gets kind of messy with the paper towel. But just get your finger under that membrane on one end, in a whole piece, other than it tearing. go. Get your finger in there and really dig your finger underneath that membrane, okay? And all you have to do, you can fit another finger in, just start pulling it up. You want to get this membrane off because when you cook, this membrane is going to seize up, it's going to contract, and it's not going to allow the meat to soften. Plus, when you try to eat it, it's very plasticky. Comes off really easy. Yeah, it's always very tough. Now, when you pull it like that, you're not getting everything. There's this flap. There's always going to be this flap. That membrane is on that flap as well. So you just want to work. Having a little bit on here is fine if you don't end up getting it all complete. Work your finger underneath on that flap. If you're not careful, you're going to rip the meat as well. So just be careful. You need to use a spoon or a knife or something underneath it. Okay. You even take your knife and just kind of cut it out a little bit. You need to. It's being extra. You always want to try to get as much of that membrane off of that meat that you can. Or at the very, very, very least, if you can't, if you're going to like be ripping off a lot of meat, take your knife and score it every ½ inch, because that'll allow everything to open up, and that membrane won't be causing any problems. See, there's some more of it. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to be able to do. Now, some brands already pre-trim, but I don't think they trim them good enough, because you always have fat caps, you always have this and that on it. You don't want to get every little bit of fat off of them, because that's going to help them be juicy, but the larger portions of fat, like this that just kind of pulls up, you want to trim off. Okay, that's preheated. Cat's going crazy because it was beeping. It's done! That does not mean dinner is done, Boots. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and just kind of cross the top portion to shave off some of that extra fat. And any membranes or really thin bones on the short rib side, you can just slice out of there. Okay, that looks really good here. A little bit more. Okay. See, there's a lot of, I mean, you're going to get a little slivers of the meat. But it's not going to make a difference. You want to get that fat off of there because that fat's just going to end up cooking off and going to the bottom. The fat that's intertwined with the ribs and the short ribs and stuff, that's what's going to make everything really juicy still. Now, I want to trim these. I want to cut them. I want to make them into smaller portions, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel along where my short ribs and my long ribs intersect. So I know that my long ribs going this way are about right here. So I'm going to take my knife, okay, I'm going to keep feeling so I can feel which direction they're going. Okay. You want to make sure you have a really sharp knife when you're doing this. Okay. I need to actually sharpen my knives. Okay, you're going to feel really thin bones, as I'm doing. You want to get around those. Or if your knife is sharp enough, you can just cut through them. Which mine doesn't seem to be at the moment. Doing this, like I said, you're just separating off the long and the short ribs from each other. I find it more cost effective to buy the spare rib and the short rib, or to buy the spare rib cut, because you're getting so much more meat. turn it over, sometimes it could be a little easier to see everything. Sometimes you can take your knife just right down it and it'll run through. When you hit a bone, just kind of move it around, find where that bone isn't. There we go. Okay, so you can see that it's just the tail end of the long bones because I didn't cut into any of the marrow or anything like that. So it was just the tail end of that. That is a good set of baby backs right there. Now, if you happen to get any of those short rib bones in there, just slice them off. It's really easy to do that once you have that main portion off. There we go. See, that is a really nice set of baby backs. This is all the long ribs. This is all the short ribs. Yeah, almost just like cutting up a whole chicken. Okay, as you can see, these ones, they went like this. So they're opposite. These are much thicker, lots more meat on it. And actually, I want to show you. That right there is meat. Perfect. No bone, no nothing. And it's that strip that you want to get off because it makes it so much thicker, so much bigger. This is short rib bone, and this is short rib. There's not really much rib on it, not very much bone in it, but you have to cook this portion differently than you have to cook this. This is more, it's better for like simmering for like beef broth, getting a little bit of the meat in there. It's very, unless you cook it extremely slow, it's very, very tough. And that's why you always want to separate that off. You're not missing much from that whole gigantic rack of rib right there. So now that I have that, hey sweetheart, sweetheart, can you come in here for a second, please? Give me a like a saucer or something out of the cabinet. My hands are. Do it. Just like a saucer or bowl or something.
Small plate?
Yeah, just something to hold this is all I want to do. Thank you. So I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, because I'm going to try to fit this in there, I'm going to cut these up. Okay. I'm going to cook these separate because they're so thin. Okay, now every 3 or 4 ribs, I'm going to slice down. That should give me plenty of ability to fit these in.
Wow.
What?
Next week at base pay, at regular pay with no incentives,
Yeah.
$230 before taxes.
Oh, nice.
And that's if I don't pay for my shifts.
Okay, so these are very nice portion sizes right here, as a matter of fact. These small ones can be 1 portion, this can be another portion, and this can be another portion. There's a lot of meat in here, not only that, but I am going to end up cooking this, which ends up being a lot of meat as well. Boneless. I mean, how can you not like that thought, right? Actually, a little bit of cartilage in here, and these really thin. There's a couple really thin bones. But it's not bones. It's more cartilage than it is anything. And you'll think it's bone, but it's not. So you want to get those out of there. The preparation on this is what takes the longest, really. Just kind of getting them separated off and stuff like that. So now I'm going to have Ashley open my seasoning. This one's up. Okay.
I'll be working 13.5 hours next week.
So this is a dry rub. So you want to really. It says 2 tablespoons of rub per pound. This is about this section right here is probably about 3 pounds, 2.5 to 3 pounds. It's about half of what that is. So I'm going to be rather generous with this. You want to be generous with a dry rub. It has all those flavors and everything on it. And you want to make sure you're getting every little nook and cranny. So I just take it, I pick it up, and I really rub it in. Tonight. You want to make sure you get every little bit, because this cooks into the meat and adds all the flavor. And some people will put a dry rub on and just have dry ribs. We like wet ribs. So I like to put a dry rub on and then also add barbecue sauce to it at the end. Okay, so those are nice and nicely seasoned.
According to this, I'm 3 days early.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't do that though. A lot of people just either do dry or wet, or I like the flavors, the seasonings, everything being cooked into the meat, and then I also like the moist flavor that the barbecue sauce gives it. Like I said, you really want to work that seasoning in and let it sit for a few minutes. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to take off one of my gloves. This is the kind that grabs the hair.
Shouldn't be so hairy.
Well, this says about 5 minutes. Um, this rub here says let sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I have a free hand, clean hand. I'm going to kick that back on a little bit. Yeah, but I base a lot of my stuff on my channel on extremely easy, um, extremely cheap to be able to make. And a lot of people don't know how to make their own rub. I will end up one of these days showing how to make a dry rub, but I just wanted to go the cheap and easy route because I didn't want to spend a lot of time, a lot of money on ribs in the air fryer the first time doing it, because I don't know exactly if we're really going to like it. So if we don't end up liking this, then there's no point in, taking all the time, all the effort and everything, making my own rub. Yeah. Yeah, bourbon rub is really good. So I just wanted to, go the easy route with this. This thing of dry rub was only like $5. And I'll end up using that in the future anyway, for different things. Maybe I'll do some barbecue chicken. I'll rub that down with that rub. Just different things I can use it for. So it's very versatile.
You should tell them my idea.
One of the things I am buffering.
That's because we're getting ready to go storming.
Okay, sorry about that. I think I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting ready to get a bunch of rain in, and sometimes the internet likes to act up a little bit. But yeah, like I was saying, I base a lot of my stuff on how to do things easy and cheap. And one of the things that we've had Ashley actually has come up with the idea. What we're going to do one of these days is we're going to do. I think I'm going to do a series of different places like Dollar Tree, Dollar General, places that are extremely cheap to buy food from, and doing a series of maybe even like a full week on doing dinners and meals on the food that those type of places sell. Um, you know, easy, cheap, extremely affordable, and extremely varied in, or extremely easily accessible, because those stores are all over the United States. You can find them everywhere. And I kind of get that thought from another YouTuber that I actually watch quite a bit. Um, and I'll give him props. His name is Mike Jevons. So if you ever want to look at his channel, um, he's a great YouTuber, does all kinds of stuff. And he's based out of the UK, out of England. And he does all really awesome videos. He does things like infomercialism, where he takes a product that's been in infomercials throughout the years, and takes them and actually does reviews on them, shows how they're used, or whether they're actually useful or not. And he's hilarious. Um, he does a lot of week-ons, which is what I just thought to have the idea with, where he takes a certain, like he's done a week on, or he actually did a month on McDonald's, but he did things like a week on keto diet. He's done a week on um, like military type foods, um, or like really extremely ready to eat foods. Foods that he's done a week on, foods that are like fully in one bag. He's done all kinds of things. I would suggest to look him up. His name is Mike Jevons. That is his channel name, and he's great. So this is nicely warmed up. I'm going to pull it out. I want to kind of keep it in one hand, and I'm going to take one piece. I'm going to take another piece. I'm going to kind of push, just kind of toss them in on top of each other, really. So that is 3 of those pieces. Okay. I am going to have to end up moving them around here and there. So I'm going to set this for 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, I'm going to rotate them. And then while everybody's eating on these, I'm going to put these in. These are going to cook a lot quicker, a lot easier. So see, every 10 minutes I'm going to rotate these. So there's 10 minutes on the counter now. They're at 350. And I'm just going to do it until they're done. I'm going to see how long it actually takes. Is Hazel and Kinsey and Squirt watching? So from here, I can literally take the glove off. I'm actually going to take these. So like I said, every 10 minutes I'm going to rotate them. That way they get even cooking. Now in the infomercial that I watched, we were watching earlier, they didn't rotate them. They didn't. They said, you know, just toss them in, let them cook, and they're done. Well, I know as an experienced cook that when you lay stuff on top of each other, it's not going to cook in between. I know that. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to, you know, waste the money and time doing this and not rotate them. So, in the meantime, I'm going to have me a knitted schmoo. Now I'm going to wait till these are about half done, and then I'm going to start my, I'm going to be doing cheddar broccoli pasta. Just a nice simple side. Our since we've lived here a little over 2 years. We haven't had a dining room because for a very long time it was Andrew's room. It wasn't done. It wasn't finished. It wasn't. It was basically a little game area where he had his TV and Xbox set up and had the ability to just kind of do that. But we wanted to turn it into a next weekend is Memorial Day, isn't it? No, I haven't decided yet. Is it tomorrow or is it next weekend? We're doing the family. Next weekend. How convenient. Memorial Day. Every other weekend, we're pretty much doing like a rotation with Ashley's family coming down here for dinner and to hang out and stuff like that. We go up there one weekend, they come down here, and so on and so forth. It makes it pretty fair, kind of evens it out a little bit. It is a 25-mile journey back and forth. So to make things a little bit, like I said, more fair, we decided to rotate things, and we were there last weekend. I ended up grilling the chicken. And then the next weekend, or it's every 2 weekends, we're doing a family thing, and it's so every other weekend we go up there. Every other weekend from that week they come down here, and so on and so forth. So I didn't realize that next weekend's Memorial Day. I don't know. I'll figure it out by then. You guys are having kebabs. Those sound good. I would do kebabs, but you know, some of the main ingredients on a kebab is onions, peppers, things like that, and Ashley can't have those. We can't have those really in the house. So It looks like it's going to be getting ready to start raining here soon. It's thundering out, if it's not sprinkling and raining already. Oh, that sounds good. Oh wow, I guess it's already been raining. Oh yeah. Wow, I missed it. I heard the thunder, but I missed it. It's been some light rain, so it hasn't been really. I guess I missed the rain. Yeah, it hasn't been bad, and that's why I didn't really hear it. I just kind of see it on a window in my office. But that sounds really good. So I've got 2 minutes left on these for the first rotation. We're going to see how they're looking here in a couple minutes. You can really smell that seasoning on there. It smells really good. I'm just going to lay out a couple pot holders. This is a glass cutting board, and I don't want to take the chance of that pan since it's heated. Tropical storm watch, wow. I know this is tempered glass and it won't shatter or break, but I'm not gonna take the chance. How does that smell to you, sweetheart? What are you doing? No. Don't scratch on chairs. Foods. Wet scratching post. Use it.
I think that's Diamond.
No, Diamond was in the chair. Oh, it shut itself off. Okay, so. Ooh. I don't know how well you can see those. Those are looking nice. They're looking nice already. This is the one on the bottom, getting that rotation of air. I want to actually set them, if I can, like this. No, that's not going to work out very well. Okay, so I can set this one on the side though. That might get a little better airflow in there. I'm going to set it to on, back down, and back to 10 minutes. They're looking really nice already, surprisingly. They're not anywhere close to done, but oh really? Arthur, huh? Okay. Well, I hope you guys are. I know you guys go through it pretty much every year, the hurricane season and all that, but hope you guys are braced for it. Yeah, you've been there, what, like, uh, 10 years now? Is this like your 10th year there? No? 11 or 12? Because I know that you were there in '09. Yeah. So I want to see how many rounds this goes in order to cook these ribs. Let's see how tender they turn out. I'm hoping it's really good. I'm going to end up about halfway through, I'd say after this cycle, I'm actually going to, yeah, I hope it does too. I'm actually going to take them out, set them on a tray or plate, and look and see how much fat has gotten to the bottom of them. This setup that I have right now for my stream seems to be a pretty decent setup. I can actually control my computer from my iPad here. I don't have to do anything strenuous or anything. I mean, it seems to be a pretty good setup that I have right now. So, got 7 minutes left. Let's see. Yeah, 20 minutes looks like it would be long enough to get this cooked. Smelling really, really good. I mean, this seems to be really easy to be able to do. Don't have to go out and do the charcoal and wait 6 hours before the ribs are done. If this turns out good, this could be something that I end up starting to do more often. smell-o-vision. Yeah, I wish I could. They've actually played around with something like that, where there is a device that has um, different base smells, and the combination of those base smells can pretty much produce any really any smell. And I just don't think it's feasible. Uh, it's at like a conceptual point where it's something they've worked on and tried to do and try to make cheap, but you can't really make something like that cheap. And you basically plug it into a USB port. On one end, there's different smells and stuff going on, and then at the other end, that device produces those smells. But it's really hard to do something like that. About 4 minutes left. I'm just going to kind of start to get some things ready. Oh, this one, not going to be drinking a little bit. So for my side, I need 3 cups of water. And a cup of milk. You guys watch any shows on Netflix? Tablespoon. You don't? Oh, okay. Well, do you like Stephen King? Like his novels and stuff? There's this show. The reason I'm asking is there's this show that's on Netflix that is actually really popular. And it's called Stranger Things. Started watching it yesterday. They're hour long. It's an hour long miniseries. Like each show is an hour long, and it's very, very interesting. It's based off of his Stranger Things novel. Huh? Oh, yeah, the rain's here. It's pouring down pretty good. Okay, so next rotation. This is 20 minutes into these. Okay. Um, you can already see the bone is starting to show itself, which is what you want when you cook ribs. You want that bone to recede, and you can look at the juices that are coming off of that. You can see the caramelization. These are looking really, really good. But you can still see, you know, blood's coming out of the membrane or the bone marrow, which is a good sign. I'm going to kind of just check the temperature to see where they're at. It's going up rather quickly already. Wow. This is 20 minutes in. 20 minutes into cooking ribs in the air fryer. You can see all that fat dripping off. And they're at almost 145 degrees already. Wow. And that is the thickest one. I'm going to do this one here. This one's going up to 160. Wow. Never thought these would have cooked this quick. I'm going to actually turn down the heat quite a bit for the next round. That way they can actually cook at a slower temperature. This is 20 minutes in and they're already almost done. Wow. So 10 minutes. Now I'm going to knock that down to 325. Wow, this is surprising. I never thought these would cook this quick. This much in the basket. But yeah, that kind of threw me there. And one thing, you see, well, you want the temperature up to like 165 for these. That's like a perfect temperature for ribs. One thing is that an air fryer, when it cooks, it has that heat that circulates around everything and makes the outside. I'm going to put a sauce on after this round. I knocked it down to 3. Actually, I'm going to knock that down to 300. Every recipe that I was looking at says, you know, 350, 400, put them in for about a half an hour, and, you know, put the sauce on for the last 10 minutes. Well, this is a very thick rack of ribs. I didn't think it would cook this quick. 20 minutes in. They're almost done. But anyway, what I was saying is the outside of the rib, if that cooks quicker, you want that to cook quicker. You want that to have almost a crispy exterior. That way it holds all the juices, all of that flavor in, instead of it just um, letting everything leak out. When it crisps up, it holds all of that in. So that's going to be really, really juicy and flavorful. I think this may end up being a go-to for making ribs. I've heard people making cakes and biscuits and all kinds of stuff in the air fryer. I would never have thought ribs. And cleanup, so easy with these baskets. All you have to do, really, dunk it in a sink full of hot soapy water, wash it out with a washcloth, rinse it out, let it dry. Nothing sticks on the inside. Nothing. You have melted cheese on the bottom, it won't stick. You could even put it in your dishwasher if you want it. That way you don't even have to really touch it. But anyway. Get my sides warming up over here, the base to it. Exactly. It really does. That big oven uses so much electricity. This plugs into it's a little two-prong cord. I got it plugged into an extension cord right now. I mean, it makes things so easy, so in each, like I was saying, each portion, I mean, it's going to be perfectly cooked, just like it was a whole rack. When you cut it and you don't let them rest, and you cut it and all that sauce starts, all the juice starts pouring out as you're cutting it, that's going to be each portion. So really, you can cut, if you wanted 2 ribs, if somebody wanted 2 ribs, another person wanted 4 ribs or whatever, you can cut them to that size, and it would cook as if it was a whole rack rather than letting all that juice out. So now I have my basting brush and my barbecue sauce. A lot of people put in a little dish or whatever. I'm not that bothered with that. It's really storming outside. Wow. I guess this is coming from the southeast. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this rain that we're getting is coming from the south, the southeast. So we're right in the middle of a pretty heavy storm. Wash these dishes. Okay, so that's These sides are incredibly easy to make as well. No, it won't. I don't think we've ever had the power go out in this house. Have we? One time? Really, really bad storm? Okay. I guess it has once. I couldn't remember. Was that when I was gone? Okay. When all those storms came through, not long after. Okay. We've got underground buried lines for quite a while. So I'm waiting for this to reboil. I've got 3 minutes left on this cycle. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to take it down to a light boil. Well, yeah, you're way out in the frickin' boonies. Oh yeah, I'm way out in the boonies. You know, I'm actually gonna pull these out now. Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Look at these. These are looking amazing. You guys hear that thunder? We're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Oh my gosh. Okay, this small one, this thermometer is going up rather quickly. My instant read thermometer is dead right now. And I forgot to pick up a new battery while we were out. These ones are right at 140. No, 150. 160. Ooh. Not quite falling apart, but look at that bone recession. When you see about a half an inch of that bone, that means that meat is cooking very, very nicely. And I don't know. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. I think it's time to put on the barbecue sauce. Okay, one of the thickest pieces. Yeah, it's time to put on this barbecue sauce. 50. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see me just pull that bone off? Look at that. Look how clean that bone is. That was just the bone on the outer edge, but still. I think we're going to have a winner here. Couple extra minutes. Yes, barbecue sauce time. Now, when was the last time that you could make ribs? And what's it been? Half an hour? 30 minutes. That's all it's been. How much was this air fryer? 70 bucks? This air fryer was like 70 bucks at Walmart. And this is almost a game changer. I would have never honestly thought ribs in the air fryer. And just because, I mean, because it's just you two, you could get a smaller one that's cheaper. They have one for like 40 bucks. This is at Walmart, mind you. You could go online, find one for probably even cheaper than that. This is the Power XL brand. It's a bit bigger than the last one we had. But really, all air fryers have the same concept, have the same idea, really cook the same. Just make sure that you get one that has a little tray in the bottom. That way you have the airflow, has nice airflow on the sides, and you'd be good to go. It's worth it. You ever cook, anything frozen, like fries? You got, you get like the chicken nuggets or strips, um, anything really. You can make in this thing without having to heat your oven up. Anything that'll fit in this basket with maybe a little bit of airflow around it, you'd be good. I've heard about people making cakes, full-size cakes. I mean, round ones, but still. They have the one online or on the TV that we were watching this morning, and it was 160 bucks, but it has so many attachments. It has a thermal probe. It has lots and lots of different options with it as well.
You make bacon, you make French toast, you make muffins, you
Yeah, bacon,
eggs.
French toast. The bacon, you don't have to turn. You put the bacon in the bottom of it, and that's why you condense some of them. If you have a toaster oven, this will replace it. I'm telling you right now, this will replace the toaster oven. You get something like this, a food processor, and a blender. Oh, you don't even need a toaster. This will replace a toaster. You want to toast some bread? Toss this on 400. Let it heat up as you're getting the bread out of the package. Toss it in the bottom. Let it brown up for a couple minutes. You're good to go. Yeah, you use it as a microwave. You reheat foods. You can. I actually have a small chicken that I'm thinking of maybe using in this. I was wanting to do these ribs first and see how they turn out. Oh. That's why, I mean, we had one before, like I've said, and that's why we got another one, because we liked the air fryer we had. We really did. Even the savings from having to turn on your oven, if you have an electric oven, the savings from turning that on, not having to turn that on, and heating up your house, your AC has to work harder. I know you don't really pay your power bill, but you guys have it paid for you. But I mean, the savings, having to have your AC work harder to keep your house cool. You can make bread in this thing. Not a very big loaf. It would be a round loaf, but still. Sorry, I'm raving about an air fryer. Honestly, this is the first time I've done this. Oh, propane. Still, I know you have the propane filled for you and everything, but I mean, cooking wings in this thing, they were awesome. Weren't they, babe? Yeah, just a couple more minutes. And these 3 pieces of ribs would feed both of you. This is one deal here. I'm going to put the other slabs of meat, because all they are is boneless meat. Those will cook in like 15 minutes. Toss some barbecue sauce on them. Those will be good to go. And then I have these short ribs that I'm not even going to cook. I want to store them up. You know, I'll get those maybe braised or something and cook. You know, put them in on a really low temperature in here. You know, to sear them, and then braise them on the stove or in the oven. Yeah, I could even braise them in here. Now look, I mean, this thing is sitting at 350 degrees. And look how easy this is. Look how simple, or 300 degrees right now. I'm holding it with my hands. That's how little heat actually comes out of it. There's a vent in the back that all the heat comes out of. You can touch the sides, it's very safe. I mean, my hands touching the sides of this thing, holding on to the basket part. Very, very safe. I mean, when's the last time you could touch an appliance that was cooking your food and pick it up with your hands? You know? I'm just trying to make a point.
We're gonna need a rowboat.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
It'll come down up in here. Holy crap.
Rowboat.
Sorry, we're looking at the river that we have for a sidewalk right now. But yeah, now I'm just waiting on the side to cool. These are going to finish up. We got 2 minutes. And it's been literally 40 minutes. Like I said, the longest part of it was prepping your meat. Prepping the food. Oh yeah, it's raining. It's raining really good. Let me show you. I'll actually take you outside and show you. Don't mind our kitchen here. See, we have a river for a sidewalk. That's how our yard floods when it rains. Heavy. So yeah. Oh. There it goes. That's better. Okay. So my side is done. It's just setting. My ribs. Yeah, River Road. It's exactly what it is. It's a river. So this is turned off on its own. Oh. So Mm. Oh God. These things. I'm going to show you the temperature. 40 minutes. This is a literal full rack of ribs without the short rib portion. Sauced. Completely done. Whew. So juicy. I don't know how well you can see this. You can't. 155 degrees. So I'm going to plate up. And while this is resting for a few minutes, I'm going to really quickly, easily rinse this out with all that barbecue sauce in there. I want to show you how easy it is to rinse this out between what you're doing. There's this insert on the inside. I don't know if you can see it. I just want to get most of the barbecue sauce off because I don't want it burning. Now this is just the stream out of my faucet. That is plenty good enough to finish everything up. Now I'm going to take these ribs, the ones that don't have the bone in them. I'm going to kind of put them on their side more than anything. Actually, no. They fit side by side. Nice. Nicely side by side in the bottom. Back up to 350 for 15 minutes. Voila. Actually, I want to let the rest for a second. Or that to evaporate. You know what I want to do? Okay, I want to take this one, small paring knife. They've sat and rested for a couple minutes. This is 3 ribs. This one's 4 ribs, this one's 2. Oh. See how easy this is to cut through? The inside is nicely done. They're still so hot. Now you can do these, you can even cook these individually. Look at those. I'm gonna say those are good. Okay. So those are browning up nice. Barbecue mess on the plate. I don't care. Now, sweetheart, do you want? I have one with 2 ribs, 3 ribs, and 4 ribs. Which size would you want?
Well,
2. I also have the flanks of meat cooking as well. So. Table tonight or no? Oh, yeah. So these things are amazing. They're really, really good. I want to see how Ashley likes them, and I'll let you know. I want to get going because we've got to get set down at the table, and we're going to start eating. We're going to dig in. I do have these Still cooking these planks of meat. But these are really simple and easy. These are just, you know, the strips off of the ribs. They're going to take a lot quicker to cook.
Andrew, shut it down.
But I'm going to get going. I do thank you for showing up to my live stream. I really appreciate it. Less than 2 hours. Ribs. Well, I'd say really an hour and a half. Ribs completely trimmed up and done. So you take care. I will let you know how, you know, everybody feels about these. And until next time, guys, thank you.